Mongolia.
Good morning, Honorable Mr. Enkhbold, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure welcoming the participants of CAMCA. I just learned it's called CAMCA. Yesterday I taught CAMCA Forum in 2015 in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. With the best wishes and success to the Enkhbold Foundation activities, I'd like to express my gratitude to Mr. Donald Enkhbold, true statesman, not only for his friendship to Mongolia and continued support to our democracy, but also his contribution to develop communication and understanding throughout Greater Central Asia via its CAMCA Regional Forum initiative. 10 nations geographically lay stretched between two traditional centers of power and development of Eurasian landmass. For centuries, this area played the role of interconnectors between East and West. Historical evidence shows that there were centuries-long struggle between those nations to be in control over the Silk Road, main trading road between these two centers of gravity. Now, CAMCA area nations are entering into new era of new opportunities, development and prosperity. We are now entering into new era of being not only interconnector between East and West, but also becoming a major player on the global stage to claim more benefits equal to our contribution. Dedicated to the promotion of wide range of discussions to advance development, CAMCA Regional Forum initiative is growing its importance by efforts educating and encouraging young men and women to be leaders of rightful economic and social development within their communities and beyond. As you know, Mongolia is a landlocked country sandwiched between two big powers, Russia and China. In the era of new opportunities, however, we began to see our location as a new opportunity. We are lying next door to the biggest growing economy in the world. Mongolia has achieved remarkable success over the past 2 decades in transforming itself from socialist country with planned economy into a vibrant multi-party democracy with one of the world's fastest growing economies. With accession to WTO in 1997, a favorable legal environment, foreign investment, and substantially liberalized trade regime, while having young educated people, Mongolia is a relatively easy country for conducting business with free currency exchange and a stable democratic government. Thus, Mongolia is able and willing to be part of opportunity that drives Greater Central Asia to openness and new economic prosperity. Despite the opportunity, Mongolian foreign and security policy guides us not to forget keeping a balance between immediate neighbors and third neighbors in attracting their interests to our country. Mongolia maintains the comprehensive partnership relations and cooperation with the United States in the framework of its third neighbor policy. Both countries enjoy fruitful bilateral relations based on shared values and common strategic interests. We have proved to be reliable strategic partners since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1987. Mongolia and USA developed trusted bilateral cooperation in all important spheres, including political, economic, defense, and security. Defense sector cooperation between Mongolia and US is successfully developing. Bilateral ties intended to deepen Mongolia's defense reforms, strengthen building and professional armed forces, enhancing Mongolian armed forces' peacekeeping capabilities. Thanks to the support and assistance from the USA, Mongolia is now becoming net exporter of security in the region and worldwide. Almost 1,000 Mongolian armed forces servicemen and servicewomen are serving in 5 UN peacekeeping missions, and more than 300 personnel are contributing in coalition efforts in Afghanistan. These days, one of the major regional peacekeeping events in the multinational peacekeeping training exercise, Conquest, is taking place in Five Hills Training Center near Ulaanbaatar. This year, more than 1,200 troops from 22 different nations are taking part in the event. Ladies and gentlemen, the CAMCA area has huge inherited potential to become one of the major players on the global arena in 24th century. I believe that young leaders could do what all nations of CAMCA area are striving for. I believe that through lively dialogue, constructive ideas, and friendship, we are able to establish a unique regional identity to find correct models of economic, political, and social development. I wish successful CAMCA Regional Forum 2015 here in Ulaanbaatar. Thank you for your attention. Now I welcome questions. Happy to answer. Until 10. Or if you wish, I can stay. My next meeting is 11.
Thank you very much for this broad and interesting presentation of the Mongolian present.
I can't hear.
Yeah. Does it work? Yeah. So my question is, what are the main points of your platform, or the platform of the Democratic Party of Mongolia, and which of these points you believe can be implementable in the near future?
Democratic Party of Mongolia.
Yeah.
Is a member of IDU, International Democratic Union, which means we are a right of center party. Less government, more freedom, more business. This year we celebrating 25th year of establishing Democratic Party. We began with 1990s protest. You all know what happened in 1990s. So we are a new party with just 25 years history. We are right of the center, and We partner with the Republican Party in US, CDU, Germany, and LDP Japan, our partners. It will say what we are stand.
I come from Kyrgyzstan, which is also a parliamentary democracy like Mongolia. Yesterday we learned from your members of the parliament that parliamentary democracy in Mongolia has been since early 1990s, and Kyrgyzstan is just learning. I think it's the 5th year of parliamentary democracy, and we are finding out that there are some strengths of parliamentary democracy, but also there are some challenges, such as key decisions take some time to be to be implemented. So how is Mongolian parliament overcoming this issue? For example, when there are major issues, how do you make sure that they are decided quickly?
Parliament is not place where decision comes quickly. It's the opposite. Unfortunately, we need to pay price. Usually, Parliament could discuss things many years, many months, or just one day. It depends on the question, conditions, and on everything. So it's hard to say. Parliament is mirror of society. Instead of protesting in the squares, you need to gather in the one place and discuss and decide most important questions facing our nations peacefully within the law and within the established order. It's much better than any other debates. Unfortunately, it's not quick. How many of MPs you met yesterday? One? You need more than one, and they will tell each different. Each from different angle, because they represent different parties, different region, and so in the final we will come to some solution, which will, of course, not satisfied, but it will show most of them like it. Of course, some will stay unhappy with the particular decisions. So we do that type of work every day.
Thank you. I'm Gulshan Sachdeva from India. You just mentioned about your third neighbor policy in your foreign policy. Does India figure in your third neighbor?
Yes, we just told Prime Minister of India Modi just less than 1 month ago, because you see the Mongolia sandwiched between two great powers and two permanent members of UN Security Council. In geographically, if you see a map, there is no third neighbor to Mongolia. But this word, third neighbor, 100 years old, when Mongolia, newly independent from Qin dynasty, Manchu, first Prime Minister of Mongolia, Sainoyhan, created this term. We need third neighbor, such as US, Japan, England. Europe was at the highest, the world's greatest power. So he especially created this word in order to balance between two great neighbors. It includes every country, other than our immediate two neighbors, India, US, Japan, Europe.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your speech. I have a question. If you see around Mongolia, it takes many, many thousand kilometers to reach another democratic country. What was the reason that this country chose the democratic way of development, not like his neighbors? What was the reason?
In 1990s, when communism collapsed, we had choice to continue Communist Party with name change it and stay same way other former communist countries. But we decided we need to go democratic way, multi-party and privatization and everything. That was a people's decision, not the few ruling party leaders' decision. Mongolian people decided to go that way, and Mongolian Democratic Party lead this way because we thought that's right way to do and right thing to do. The main reason we decided to go was we in last 70 years until 1990s, Mongolia was not independent country. In 1990s, first time Mongolia could be, we could take our fate in our hands. Not some great countries rule or it was big thing, and we just caught this new freedom. Mongolia is nomadic country. Still, quarter of Mongolians living in nomadic way of life. If you have chance to meet a nomadic family in the Mongolian steppe or in the western mountains, first thing you notice, he is free. 100 kilometers, you don't see anyone. You are free to go anywhere, just ride horse and that's all. There was no big cities in the Mongolia except Ulaanbaatar. So freedom is in our genes. We like freedom. We like to be independent from anyone. Therefore, Mongolian people choose that way, I think. Freedom is more important than anyone for nomadic people. You are restricted by nothing.
Let me ask you, you mentioned about some perspective of Mongolian foreign policy. Is there any perspective on extending relation with Central Asia countries, including interparliamentary partnership?
Yes, we are welcome. Unfortunately, I visited only one country in Central Asia, Kazakhstan, in 25 years. I didn't have chance to visit any other countries, but if there is a possibility, the Mongolian Parliament always works with the IPU. IPU is International Parliamentary Union. We have a great relationship with Kyrgyzstan. I think many parliament members from single country, from Central Asia, it's Kyrgyzstan. They come more often, I think. We need to strengthen relationship with parliaments. We are an open country and we welcome any country and we could learn each other. In 25 years we achieved, but that was so many mistakes we did. Now new parliaments in Central Asia, if you want to learn our mistakes, please. Not only successes. We could tell you what we did wrong, and you can avoid them. Wise man always learns on others' mistakes, not own mistakes. We made plenty of them in the last 25 years. Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for interesting talk. My name is Egrim. I'm from Kazakhstan, actually, and I'm glad that there is a relationship, well-established relationship with between Mongolia and Kazakhstan. As far as we know, there is a Kazakh diaspora living in Mongolia as well. How inclusive is political agenda in Mongolia in terms of minorities living here, and are there any members of minorities in your party? Thank you.
Mongolia, around 10% of Kazakhs. That's the single minority in the Mongolia, in 3 million, around 100,000, and many of our former citizens moved to Kazakhstan. I think 50,000 of them, and when I met them in Kazakhstan too, and they say all the Kazakhs living outside Kazakhstan, Mongolian Kazakhs treated how can I say best. They keep language, schools, culture, and they always got a representation at national parliament, regional. I think we are the number one when in terms of treating minorities. You will see, you can ask any Kazakh moved to Kazakhstan, what was life in Kazakhs in Kyrgyzstan, China, Uzbekistan, in Mongolia. You can just ask them, compare. We are very good. Mongolia is a very friendly country with very hospitable. So we welcomed our Kazakh citizens since 1940s and created a special IMAC for them on the Western Mongolia.
Kadir Nora from Uzbekistan. For investors, one of the most important things to invest in other countries is stability. And legal stability is also one of the important factors. From the experience of Mongolia, the right decisions, the wrong decisions that the country has made through your process, how do you establish this? How do you provide this stability for investors when the government or the parliament changes in a normal pace?
Thank you. Very important question. We just learning how bad decisions affect our life, and we just reversed the most controversial law, strategic. Юу л нэг урт нэртэй стратегийн салбар төрөнг оролт гэж гарсан. Restrictions on investment is strategically important sector. Unfortunately, this law was approved by last parliament, not me, not my parliament. We just reversed it 2 years ago. We just cancelled this law and approved new law which treats investment, regardless of their origin, regardless it's foreign or it's domestic, they will be treated same. The bad decisions price is very high. Now we pay back that price. The Tughrik was depreciated almost 30 or 40%. Everyone pays. It's important that in the future we will not make same mistake again. Stability is very important, and laws passed by parliament and next parliament and next government with respect and continuity is very important. When I said mistakes earlier, I mean that treating investors differently after the election was not way of doing business in the 21st century. So we're learning. I think investment environment now is better than when I took chairmanship of that parliament.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I was hoping that you might be able to comment a little bit on the constitutional reforms that are now being discussed in your parliament, and what impact they might have for the next government.
When 1992, Mongolia approved new constitution, we also made a mistake. You can imagine 430 members of former Communist Party and gathered in one place when the Constitution Working Group presented them new constitution which three separate branches, legislative, executive, and judiciary. It was normal constitution, and president elected by parliament, not by the people. Several other separation of power, but those 430 deputies decided why president elected by just 76 people. Let people elect the president. That was the first mistake we made. Now the constitutional scholars call Mongolia semi-presidential country. So one of the reforms we will return the original constitution, which elects president by parliament, like Germany. More ceremonial president than with the executive powers. In the constitution, president has enormous executive power, and we don't know where put him, in the executive side or judiciary side, or even he can law initiator. He vetoes law. So it's phenomenon. We don't know where we got such example. So first thing is true separation of power. Second, Mongolia parliament is too strong. It appoints every minister. That limits power of prime minister. If any minister appointed by same vote is prime minister, some ministers not follow the order of prime minister. He's saying, what's the difference between us? You elected by 50 votes, I elected by even more votes than you, 55 votes. So that's the weakness of Prime Minister. So we just learned this in hard way in 25 years, and we will make our constitution a real parliamentary power with a real executive power, Prime Minister, and the President's role should be as Germany. These are two main. Parliament will no longer appoint ministers. Prime Minister will appoint them, just introduce into the Parliament session. Because of blurring lines between three branches makes it difficult.
I'm Farouk Nazar from Uzbekistan. Mongolia is mining is a key industry in Mongolia, and I wonder, are there any attempts to diversify the economy? And if there are, then basically what is industry under consideration? Thank you.
Diversification is a very good word. We also learn very hard way. The 2010, 11, 12, we had economic growth of more than 15%, 16, 17, thanks to commodity price and foreign investment in mining. Unfortunately, commodity price will not stay longer. We are now in down cycle. It's always cyclical. We forget the downward cycle. We thought, whole country thought, decision makers thought, peoples, it always stays same or it will go even higher. That was the expectation back when we had GDP growth of more than 15%. After 2012, downward cycle began. Now commodity prices is not good. With that, there is no longer income to budget. We lost many thousands of jobs. So we have to diversify. There is no other way. First thing is agriculture. Mongolia is supplying 40% of raw Kashmir to the world. Other 50% comes from China. China's inner Mongolia. So Mongolia is basically almost 100% supplier of raw Kashmir. We need to purchase it, make very good suit and Kashmir things. We are between 1.5 billion Russians and Chinese. We could supply them with ecological food because the heavy industry is not developed in Mongolia. Mongolia's soil, air, free of other pollutants. So we could supply them milk, meat, other things. Also light industry, leather and other things. We have livestock of 52 million. Goats, sheep, horses. From these 52 million slaughtered each year, 20 million. It means 20 million skin of every type of skin. So if it's purchased, we could dress Russians and Chinese and Europeans with many of them. So its first thing is agriculture. Maybe later we develop other industries. We creating a new airport hub in Asia. We are in middle of if you fly from Southeast Asia to Europe or to US, you could stop here. We are in the middle. It's like you stay in Dubai when you fly to Australia from Europe. You just stop in the refuel, eat Mongolian barbecue, and buy some Kashmir. That airport is just 70 kilometers from UB, the big airport, 500 million, I think, US dollar. So we have ambition to become new airport hub of Northeast Asia.
My name is Timothy from Kyrgyzstan. Besides the economic achievements, probably you must have something spiritual, something like a national ideology which unites the whole nation. And my question is, what's the Mongolian dream which makes whole nation go forward? Thank you very much.
Mongolian dream, like American dream, like President Xi Jinping made Chinese dream. We have same dream to become a good country, a prosperous country, and everyone had very good high-paying job. It's important. And Mongolia is very competitive. We want to be number one in the world in something. We are number one in sumo. There are no longer Japanese sumo wrestlers champions. Last 10, 15 years. We want to be number one in other things. Judo, we are number 5, I think, in the world. We want to compete with the peaceful. We want to show the Mongolians what can do. UN peacekeeping, there was no Mongolian presence 15 years ago. Now, without Mongolia, UN peacekeeping will be not be as today. We are important contributor to UN peacekeeping. We can show the world what can Mongolian soldier could do. We are disciplined. We are learned the militarily how to be responsible. So that's the way we want to show the world what can Mongolia do. That's the Mongolian way of doing business.
Okay, thank you very much. And we are now closing our question and answer session. And we would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Enkhbold Zandahu for coming and making a keynote speech, and also honestly and openly sharing his thoughts with all our participants. And we are very grateful for His Excellency for providing us with this great greeting note for a CAMCA program. So thank you, Mr. Enkhbold.
Thank you.